Hey, Happy New Year. It's January, and that means it's time to fix everything that's wrong with you. And because analytics suggest that you, the member of my YouTube audience, are likely to be American, Canadian, or British, statistically, that means you're probably going to want to get in shape. A shape other than round, am I right? Get it? I saw that joke on an old episode of Married with Children. Yeah, anyway, as you might guess, today I'll be talking about fitness. Fitness donut in my... Okay, I'll stop now. Sorry. Obvious content warning here. I'm going to be talking about diet and physical health and fitness and how those things are all related to mental health and fitness. So if you've got some rough hangups about those things, please feel free to give this one a skip. I've mentioned it before, but in full disclosure, I spend every January completely sober and usually on a calorie deficit. It makes me feel 1,000 times better after the previous Dionysian holiday season. I feel physically better, in part because I have severe chronic spinal issues that are exacerbated by carrying excess fat around. And I usually feel mentally better too. I have to say usually now, because as my patrons know, last year I was still miserable, eventually figuring out that my birth control was on the fritz, leading to a long, drawn-out depression, the likes of which could not be fixed with a healthy diet and moderate exercise, which I gave up after a few months of trying. But still, usually, a healthy January gets my year off to a great start. And there are many ways that I try to stay motivated to be healthy year-round, but one popular method I tend to avoid is social media. I mean, I have to use social media for work, so it's not my usual go-to place for relaxation. Back when I worked in an ice cream parlor, I didn't go to Dairy Queen on my day off. You get the idea. But I know a lot of people do use platforms like Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, rest in peace, for health and fitness inspiration. With that in mind, and with a larger ongoing conversation about the relative dangers of social media, I wanted to look into the research that's been done specifically on whether or not these platforms are tools for good or bad when it comes to our collective physical and mental well-being. It just so happens that after a week or two of research, on the very day that I sat down to film this video, I stumbled across a study published just last month in the journal Sex Roles, which is honestly a delightful title that could mean so many interesting things if you include homonyms and homophones. In Do Images Speak Louder Than Words? Effects of Body Positive and Fitspiration Quotes and Images on State Body Image in Women and Men, psychologists rounded up about 1,000 young adults that's under the age of 25 and first asked them questions about how they felt about their bodies. Then they showed them a variety of images of the type that you might find on Instagram. The images were one of 5 different types. Note that the study only describes the images, so I just found some similar images online to help give you an idea. So first up were fitspiration images, like women in a bikini with well-defined abs standing next to dumbbells on bar, and the caption, "Stay focused, stay consistent, and then watch you achieve each and every goal one by one." That was for women. For men, they showed a man taking a selfie in a bathroom mirror in shorts, defined abs and upper muscle, partial body shot with the caption, "Strength is a byproduct of struggling every week. Let's embrace it." Number 2, they showed fitspiration quotes like pink and white lettering on black background. "I will work out even when I don't feel like it, no matter what temptations come my way. I will eat clear so I don't blow hours of hard work in the gym on a few minutes of pleasure in the kitchen. I will do this day after day, no matter what life throws my way, because I want results, not compromise. No one will doubt me because my actions will be the evidence of my desire." My God. "It is not a matter of if I will reach my goal, but only when." With the caption, "And I never believed it up until now." Hashtag body positive, hashtag self-care, hashtag self-love journey. And then there were body positive images like women in black underwear of various body shapes standing. Caption, "Love this image so much. This was the first time I met these beautiful women, and look at us all celebrating each other so effortlessly." Caution, "Women, we are strong on our own. As a collective, we are unstoppable." Oh, big Borg vibes. And then there are body positive quotes like lilac background, female line figure, my existence is not about how desirable you find me. Or for men, black lettering on gray background, I am man enough, handsome enough, good enough, talented enough, successful enough, and strong enough. Okay, Stuart Smalley. Caption, I hope you're feeling good today. Hashtag self-love, self-care, love yourself, self-respect, look after you, positive quotes, body positive. Or as a control for some subjects, they just showed them basic travel images, because I guess you're allowed to post travel photos on social media without a hot person in a bikini in front of them. Who knew? I assume the algorithm just automatically trashed those. The researchers had each subject examine 10 of the images in one category and then answer some questions about them to make sure that they were examining them. Afterwards, the researchers asked the subjects to, again, rate their own satisfaction with their bodies, as well as their aspirations for physical fitness. The researchers found that Fitspo content, whether words or images, made both men and women feel less satisfied with their own bodies, while body positivity content, especially images, made them feel more satisfied with their own bodies, especially when it came to men. So, body positivity is good and Fitspo is bad, right? Maybe. This study only showed that in the very short term, body positivity content makes people feel more satisfied with their physical appearance than Fitspo does. But it's not black or white whether or not that's a good thing. The researchers tried to control for physical appearance by using BMI, meaning that the results applied whether someone was underweight, average weight, or overweight, on a population level. But maybe someone who is severely underweight, for instance, would benefit from being a little unsatisfied with their current physical state. Maybe that lack of satisfaction could push them to improve, whereas complete satisfaction might encourage them to just continue doing what they're doing. But of course, if someone really wants to be severely underweight, regardless of the health risks that come with it, it's their body. So who cares if they choose to view images that make them feel better about it? On the other hand, if Fitspo makes you feel really bad about yourself, are you actually less likely to do something about it? Maybe the image being shown seems so unattainable that you don't bother trying, or maybe it makes you hate your body so much that you don't see the point in improving it. It's a tricky issue, and this study doesn't go into any of those. Over on the science subreddit, I noticed one commenter about this study relate the issue to a car. If you have a beat up car that you hate, you're not going to put in the effort to fix it up. But if you have a beat up car that you love, you are going to put in that effort to take care of it. They didn't mention the other side of that metaphor, though. If you believe that all cars have AC that cuts out and a knocking sound in the engine, you may not bother to take it to a mechanic because that's just the way cars are. But if you know that those problems are fixable, maybe you will go to the mechanic. But if you don't have the time or money to go to the mechanic, or you just incorrectly think that it'll cost too much or take too much time to fix, maybe you won't. And if you're driving a 93 Dodge Neon and every other car you see is a 2025 Mercedes-Benz, maybe you'll get the wrong idea that a simple trip to the mechanic is all your car needs to look like all those other cars. Okay, you know what? We're getting really into the weeds on this metaphor, but it is surprisingly apt. I guess what I'm saying is that it's complicated. So I want to talk about some other interesting findings from other studies on this topic. For example, Fitspo is more likely to encourage you to work out if you were already planning to work out. Otherwise, most people are just watching it for entertainment or to see those hot bods. Another study shows you're more likely to work out with a fitness influencer if they're hot and friendly. This may seem obvious, but it's actually been confirmed by two completely different studies by two completely different researchers. I have the feeling there were a lot of psychologists who were bored and watching sexy people lift weights online at the start of the pandemic, and this is the result. Finally, I'll end with a study that many people may find helpful if you're still considering using Fitspiration to reach your physical fitness goals. Last spring, Australian researchers published a paper in BMC Public Health called #Fitspiration, Credibility Screening and Content Analysis of Instagram Fitness Accounts. These researchers audited the most recent posts from 100 of the most popular fitness influencers on Instagram, and they deemed these influencers non-credible if they met any of several factors. For instance, if they had fewer than 4 fitness-related posts or portrayed nudity or inappropriate clothing, sexualization or objectification, extreme body types, thinspiration, or negative messages. At the end of the audit, only 41 of the 100 were found to be credible. Considering the recent study that I opened with, it may be worth noting that it's not necessarily that Fitspo is bad for you. Not all Fitspo, I guess. The study from last year offers some guidance on how you might be able to filter out the bullshit in order to focus on creators who don't promise unrealistic results or hawk bullshit supplements or who just make you feel bad about yourself. There are creators out there who have relevant education in sports science and physiology, who demonstrate beneficial workouts or healthy diets that the average person can maintain, and who don't pair that with the objectification that might make you hate your body as it is. The researchers suggest that while exercise exertion was not greater immediately after viewing Fitspiration content, exposure to screened credible content, as well as exposure over a longer period, might show different effects. In an article about this study on the New York Times, a therapist is quoted with a good check to add to that study's audit. Does this fitness influencer make you feel good in your own skin? So, combining Fitspiration with body positivity sounds like a pretty good match. Because for me, anecdotally, I'm at my best when I'm walking that line between objectively evaluating how I might reasonably improve my physical fitness while still loving my body how it is, because I gotta live with it every day. It's not always easy, I mentioned that I went through it last year, psychologically speaking. That led to a year where overall I put on fat and lost muscle, and now my back hurts when I even think of twitching in the wrong direction. And now I'm working to fix that, but it takes time, and I've only just started. And in about a week, I'm going on a vacation to a tropical place. And I'll be honest, while thinking about what I was going to pack, I got a little depressed because my old shorts don't fit right anymore. And will I even be able to surf without my back hurting? And oh God, am I even going to want to see photos of myself? And so I had to actively tell my brain to shut the fuck up. I bought a new pair of shorts that fit my current body, and if my back starts hurting, I will stop surfing and go enjoy a taco on the beach. And if someone takes a photo of me, I will look at it and remember how much fun I was having in that moment, and how I only got to that moment because my depressive brain didn't manage to beat my body to death. And then I'll go home and I'll continue to watch what I eat and drink, and I'll continue to move my body in ways that feel fun and rewarding. And eventually I will get back to the level of fitness I prefer, because I love my body and I love what it's capable of. And I love that it's gotten me this far. And I hope that you do the same for your own body. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you loved the video, please subscribe. And if you think the world could use more videos like this and you happen to have a few bucks laying around, head to patreon.com/Rebecca and join an awesome community of nerds like the people whose names you see on the screen right now. Thanks.